planning zoning meeting tonight. Start off, we're gonna swear in new board members.
And what I'll have you do, those, you can just stand and you can all repeat at the same time. I don't need to do these photos. Okay. Sorry, we have pressure, no? Just repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear.
Raise your right hand.
Yes. Okay. You're swearing.
Good catch.
Wait, hold on.
Oh.
Hold on.
We are going to have to slide down and put that.
Squeeze on. Put that other chair up here. Far enough?
If we slide any
There.
farther, the roof end will fall off.
I think we're good.
Okay, they're going to be sworn in. So raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
You'll need to sign. And I'll get you the other things.
Okay. All right, now let's start with roll call now that we have new members. Ruth Ann?
Here.
Chris?
Here.
Lynn?
Here.
Chris? Here. Ren?
Here,
Cody? Here. All right. Let's go on to our minutes of our last meeting.
yes.
I don't remember seeing anything.
Didn't see anything.
Did anybody have any
I wasn't
changes?
here, so.
I had the heartburn.
Nope, I don't either.
Okay.
I move approval.
We have a motion to approve the minutes by Lynn,
I'll second.
second by Chris Squire. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. On to our one item of business, conditional use permit for Moon Lake.
Public hearing.
It is a public hearing also? Okay.
We need a motion to go in public.
Yeah, because didn't we discuss
He doesn't need a
this?
motion, he just needs to declare.
Yeah. Do we want to go into, let's hear about it and then we'll go into a public hearing. So come tell us all about it.
Thank you for letting us be here today. I'm Mary Stewart.
My name is Mark Trevor. So Moon Lake is a recently purchased property, looking on the map just south of State Street, just south of Pole Line Road. The yellow highlighted area is the property. Within that property, as indicated towards the eastern end, we plan on, and we're anticipating building a substation. The purpose of this substation is to have more capacity for the Roosevelt area. We have a substation that's by the hospital on the other end of
North
State Street.
Crescent.
Yes. Currently, that substation is reaching
John,
higher
great.
limits, and so we're running out of capacity there. So due to our normal practices, we can start looking at alternate options to add capacity to the Roosevelt area. And this is the option that we keep up with.
Will also give us a system backup and help us enable us to have a stronger and more reliable system.
Correct.
What is the zoning currently of that?
It's a R16,
Oh, okay.
Say it again, please, Ryan.
R16.
Didn't we recently do a lot line adjustment to accommodate this?
Yes, you did.
Yes.
You guys approved it and city
Yep.
council approved it, that's correct.
How's the property, Roger Doctor, does they access right away?
And we'll go back up to it, so,
That was part of the.
Roger Brockbank owns this property to the south. He also owns this property to the north. There's 3 parcels here that are rectangular, and he owns the middle one. So Roger can access his property from here, and we left he also owns this piece right here to the east. And we left a 60-foot wide that's what the lot line adjustment was for. So we added 60 feet to this one. You can also come from here and go up and this way, and you can also have 2,000 South Line Road as needed if you were to subdivide or put in homes. So you have the two houses.
How's Rick doing?
Right, thank you.
On that, consider ourselves in public hearing now that we kind of have an idea what's going on. Do we have anybody from the public that has any questions or comments on this? Nothing from the peanut gallery, Hal? Seeing no comments, I would consider ourselves out of public hearing. And at this point, to entertain do we have any conditions that
So what are we doing
this is
today?
a conditional use permit, so there may be, this would be the time to recommend to the council any conditions if needed for them to put the substation in.
There's certain things we can require as part of the conditional use permit. Is there a chance you can pull up that on the?
I don't have it.
I've got it, but I only got one copy.
Would you just go to Roselle City's website? Just go to the codes.
This gap size is horrible.
Usually down at the bottom is the ordinances, very, very bottom of the page, but of the home page. Yeah, right there.
Go to the,
Title 17.
17.8, 17.8 be where we're at for conditional use.
keep going down to the conditions that can be applied to conditional use. Right there.
Yeah.
Determination.
I'd be curious to hear from Lynn. Lynn lives next to the substation. I'm curious about his thoughts about how.
I don't anymore.
Oh, it used
I
to.
used to.
What are your thoughts about the substation that's next to you? How did that impact your property and stuff?
The only time it bothered me was only one time when my son lifted a 30-foot piece of aluminum pipe and hit 68,000 volt line.
Yeah.
And he knocked him down.
Yeah.
And he had some, but most of it went down the pipe luckily, otherwise he'd been dead.
Right.
But he was lucky and he was just trying to, you wouldn't think that a 30-foot piece of pipe would have reached that, but it did. But I didn't have ever any negative impacts of having a substation next to me. It's not ever a problem. The only problem was that when I built there, I didn't want to see any power lines, so I dug all of mine and buried them for 700 feet underground. Then they put the substation that had power.
Or red lines everywhere.
But it didn't ever bother me.
It was pretty great to click on the light.
Yeah.
How far south is this out of town?
South of it.
So this is pulling out right
About,
Okay.
I'm guessing 2, what did I say?
This is about.
Just before you go up on the bench.
Yeah, it's close to 2 miles.
Yeah.
Isn't it close to the big power line that goes through there anyway?
South
Right,
of
it is.
it.
It's just south of that. That's
Just
correct.
barely?
Mhm. That's the DG&T
That's what I was thinking.
line, and that's correct.
Will that affect it at all?
So you'd be tying into that?
Very possibly, yes. Because Moon Lake Electric is a sister company or
Right.
a company, one of the members of DG&T.
DGD.
So this is the
So
city boundaries.
the DG&T line goes through about right here. You can see it right there. You can see
Yeah.
that. There's a structure there. This is the Brock Bank property.
Is it this piece right here, Mary?
Right, the R16, that's correct.
Yeah.
And this doesn't show the lot line adjustment that we
Yeah.
submitted for and approved at 60 feet to the west, moved so that Brock Bank has access from his
Now,
property.
now does he own that lot, or is it, he just have an easement on that 60 feet? He owns it, okay.
He owns it.
Okay.
He owns this piece, and this piece. And that one up here, I think.
The things that I,
Who are the neighbors on the, so he's on the south?
Brock Bank,
Yes.
correct.
So he borders you almost all the way around?
Well, not necessarily. This is S&M, this is Wayne Melner,
Okay,
this is Ivy. Brock Bank, this is Lanny Ross. This
Okay.
is, I don't remember.
and then they haven't, I mean, they were notified and they haven't said anything.
No, we haven't sent any notifications yet. We started here. We haven't.
But
Okay.
they would have been, as part of a public hearing, they should have been notified.
Right.
For this
I don't
public
know.
hearing
I
tonight.
don't know if it's required. We didn't send public notices, did we?
I didn't send public notice, but I wait for the,
Okay.
I don't think it's a requirement for the conditional
For
use.
CUP.
For a conditional use, okay.
It's only for zoning changes. And
So,
Wait, say that
so,
again?
so for a conditional use, you don't have to send notices to the neighbors.
Oh, yes, you do. I got notice when my neighbor wanted a conditional use permit
What is a conditional use?
to build a garage.
We'd have to look in.
We ought to know, we
It
ought to
should
check
be,
into
go back to
that.
that code. It's a requirement in that code.
No public hearing need to be held.
We'll go to council.
Oh, Brenda,
Yeah, it'll go to council.
17.8.50.
What's that say?
or Brenda said,
Public hearings.
can you pull up that?
Under conditional use, right? 17.8.
Yeah, it does say. in that
050, it
conditional
says
use
no no,
To 17.8.060
Where we're just at, yeah.
is the,
And that's something that we could put on is we could require public notice.
Somebody.
17.8.
And
it says no public hearing need to be held, but it doesn't say anything about notice.
Go back one page and then just click on
No, I came with planning and
on
zoning.
17.8 right there on conditional uses. And then go down to
We talked about
0.06.
Conditional use.
Just
That
scroll
should have been
down.
conditional use. That should have been.
You're good. Just scroll down. You can just scroll down from there.
Garage.
It wasn't compliant.
Oh, really?
It was a little bit below this, wasn't it? Or was it public hearing that
was up above?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just
So
above.
050 says.
Public hearing, right
Says
there.
it's not needed.
No public.
However, one may be held if we deem it necessary.
I understand.
I think if you're doing anything this big, I mean, I wouldn't think they would object, but they ought to know about it.
And we could require a public notice to go out to people. That could be one of our conditions.
Yeah, before it goes to,
I think.
Might want to where you're-
Necessary.
You've got a zone and you're changing it, putting something different in there. You know how I feel
Thing,
about
it
that.
isn't just like I said, like you're never doing a garage. This is.
Yeah. I mean, it isn't noisy, but it's,
I was just saying where you've got a zone that's approved for a certain use and we're gonna put something else in there that doesn't meet that as a conditional use, that we probably should notify people, at least let them, not that they should come in and say it's not allowed, but maybe they,
So if you go into zoning, it actually is listed as a conditional use for this property. So we really can't tell them that they can't build it.
they
Yeah,
can do it, we
yeah.
can just apply conditions.
So
yeah.
And those conditions have to be within the ordinance. And from what it looks like we could do things, yeah.
the only concerns I had was if it was next to me, site obscuring, if it was me, I'd rather have like a block wall around it, but we're out in, Roosevelt, so probably don't need that extreme, but I think it would be nice to, the fence look like it was clear and see-through. To me, I think I'd want to have that kind of,
More of a
slats in there or something like that to
privacy
hide it a
fence.
little bit, so it's not as.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing I was concerned about was the access. What type of road and how are you guys planning on doing the access to the?
Well, the access, right now, we were thinking of coming along this north side and down into it. I know sounds like there's an irrigation either a pipe or a ditch. So we haven't quite planned that, but we're developing currently that the road to be on the north side into that substation.
So
What was the,
the irrigation ditches along the south side of the Melner property. And so we are planning again, like he said, putting our road along the north side of the Mill Lake property and coming off of State Street and going eastward towards where our substation site would be. And taking into consideration any irrigation or any other kind of, there's also a pipeline that comes down, an irrigation line that comes down diagonal, it comes across that small piece of rock banks that comes from the northeast going southwest. And it just cuts that corner. It will not affect where we're, our proposed site of the substation.
so my thoughts are just what the road's gonna be constructed out of, like a section, is it gonna be road based or, to me,
Is it gonna, where's your entrance? I mean, it's gonna be fenced with a gate. Where's the, is
Yeah,
the
the
gate
proposed gate is right there. We are,
along, and then the road, come to the roadway to the
Off
end there, and
State
then the
Street
gate,
and then turn
Yes.
and go east onto the property.
correct.
and then come down to the property, and then the gate would be there later.
Yeah.
Okay.
so I wouldn't mind just saying, you know, it'll be a road base, 6-inch road base, you know, road to the site. Just because I don't, if, as truck vehicles going in and out there, just tracking mud onto the road.
City.
Yeah,
And
we
then-
don't want to target trucks to get stuck either.
Yeah, emergency vehicles, you know, if there's a fire out there, we want to be able to, so it would be nice to have a turnaround, designed like the hammerhead for the emergency vehicles, to be able to access the site. And then the other concern I had is, once this area starts developing, if the neighbors start putting in sidewalk and stuff like that, it'd be nice just to have a letter from the lake saying that if this area does develop and the neighbors put in sidewalk, that you guys would be willing to put in curb and gutter to match it. So I think it doesn't make sense doing it at this point. What do you
I
think,
don't,
Ben?
well, I agree, but I don't think you're ever gonna find Moon Lake not willing to go along with whatever the neighbors are coming up with.
We want to
I
be good
mean-
neighbors and we want to be good
Yeah.
stewards of the land. So
So I think those are the 4 conditions that I would probably recommend, for your motion to approve it.
You're actually you're making recommendations for
So
council.
you want to, pardon me,
Yeah.
Carolyn, what did you say?
You said what this board is gonna do is recommend that council.
And so the stipulations will come from city council. You guys
So we would
recommend city
recommend
council,
those.
correct?
They'll recommend it.
We would recommend including those conditions.
Would you please summarize those 4 conditions again, please?
So, privacy fence.
Okay.
What's that?
Good road,
Good, yeah, the road,
with a kind of a little
hammerhead.
loop turnaround.
Turn around,
And
So if
then,
somebody else drives down there, they could get turned around.
okay?
then just a letter stating that if the neighbors develop the property, that you, at the same time, you'll put in sidewalk and curb and gutter.
Well, whatever the
Matching.
matching improvements for the neighborhood.
Did you also want neighbors notified of the,
Yes.
So public notice.
Do we, who's going to do the public notice? Is city staff going to do that, or
who would?
Yeah.
or do we want Moon Lake to provide notice to the neighbors?
No, I think the city needs to.
We would.
We would as part of the,
Because it's our meeting that we'd be doing
as part of the city council meeting.
I like how you say match improvements, like, at some point, it'd be nice if there's some landscaping going in, it'd be nice to have, you know, like a berm, with some trees, like how you guys have out by your shop. But that would be matching improvements, I think,
Yeah.
let's get that taken care of.
But, I mean, that's down the road in the future, maybe. That's some way future, maybe.
If we could stipulate those types of things so that it's not just open and broad, you know.
Who knows?
That's a good idea.
I don't want to broad because then that means they're open.
Match
broad.
improvements of, landscaping.
Can I just ask one question? Will it be like secured real good like you do on the other ones as far as,
Correct.
They wouldn't dare leave it unsecured.
because kids do dumb things.
Right.
They-
Well, like Lynn Snow can vouch for the secureness of it. It would be just like our other substations, we would have the chain link with the 3 barbed wires. I'm not sure what that's called, but the 3 barbed wires at the top and locked, secured.
And they have it gravelled and there's not weeds growing. I
No,
mean,
correct,
it's-
yeah.
Right.
It's all,
Right.
it looks, I
We-
mean, it's a substation, but it isn't a nuisance to the
Right,
neighborhood
correct.
or an eyesore.
Plus, we have to meet, NESC code as far as the substation and keep it safe and locked up and as, non-accessible as possible.
Okay, I think I'm missing
What's
some,
that?
the items to be addressed is road access and construction, site obscuring fencing, letter stating they will install curb and gutter and or matching improvements with neighbors once the area is improved. Notification of neighbors, what was the other?
Sorry, Carolyn, I didn't hear you. So
The
before
place to turn around
Okay,
Yeah.
at the end.
Emergency vehicle access.
Which on most of them they already do,
Pardon, Ryan?
which on most of them you already do that, but still put it in there
Yeah.
just because the big truck.
So you own that whole piece of property. Is there going to be a gate where it turns off the road, or will that just be an open road until it gets to this gate?
That's TBD. At this point, we haven't decided
Haven't
whether
decided?
it's going to have a gate out in the road, not or the entire property fenced.
Do we, I don't know if we care, because it's gonna be, the fence is really what's gonna.
Yeah. It's just, if you, depending on where the gate is, that negates people just driving down there for the heck of it.
But for sure, the gate will be on the.
But I mean, there's definitely a gate here. I'm just thinking,
Right.
even just some kind of a small gate up at
State
the
Street.
State Street, then nobody drives down there unless they're supposed to be.
How does
If
the
you put it there, you gotta set it back away so they can get
Yeah.
off the road to open it.
Right.
And they may have trucks and,
Yeah.
they'd have to have it back a ways.
I'd almost be concerned if there's a gate there because the fire, if there was a fire out there, how would the fire
Yeah.
trucks get
Yeah,
out there?
Slow them
I
down.
think they'd be better off just putting.
Oh, I'm
it
not
in.
wanting to require one. I'm just asking whether there was
It would be
going to be
beneficial.
one there or not.
It was a good
That's
question.
Good question.
But yeah, at this time, we're not.
36 inch, it'll take care of it.
fencing or moving off the entire piece of property.
With the ambulance.
Are you planning on keeping that entire piece of property?
At this time, yes.
So that would be a motion from Chris Thompson for those items that were discussed.
I'll make a motion that we recommend council to approve the conditional use application pinned with those 4 conditions.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Chris Thompson and a second by Lynn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Thank you, we appreciate that. The next step then is for,
City
Okay.
council.
City Council, it's on the 18th, I believe.
okay, city council, and that is when?
The 18th of February.
February 18th at 5:30.
And do we need to submit an application or send you a notice that we want to be
I'll
on the
use
agenda,
your
or
planning
is
and
this
zoning
notice?
application.
Pardon?
I'll use your planning and zoning application.
And then we don't need to, any suggestion on what we need to bring to that meeting other than answers to any
Information
questions?
yourselves.
What do you have?
They will, the council will send things.
This is just.
Maybe bring in your plans for the fence. Are you gonna do slats in a chain link? Are you gonna build a brick fence? Bring
It's
in.
going to be chain link with the 3 barbed wires and the slats as you guys have, as one of the stipulations.
Okay.
So we want a fencing spec, basically. Anything else?
Maybe the plan on the site plan showing the turnaround too.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you get that, Mary, maybe.
Submit it to you ahead of time,
Yeah, maybe we'll put it up here.
or paper in it, Roosevelt City or Arch City. Or you want me to send it to Carolyn?
Send it to Carolyn.
What's yours, Carolyn?
Carolyn, C Wilken at rooseveltcity.com.
Spelled out right.
WILCKE, and I always have to spell it. Yeah, look at my bill,
Pardon?
look at my power bill.
You owe $50.75.
I'm on automatic pay, so.
Okay. All right then. They get after us too.
All
You
right,
want us to pay too.
thanks.
We're good then, everyone? Thank you.
I
We
think so.
appreciate your time and your good comments and help us to move this project.
I think it's good that you're looking forward and getting good planning.
Yeah, we need it.
Yeah.
So, here's my, okay.
All right. Do we have any other business that we need to discuss tonight? Nothing? Then at this point, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move it.
Motion by Chris Squire,
I'll second it.
second by Lynn, all in favor?
Aye.
If I can bring this next time, Carolyn,